Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I would like to start with a story. How I started my own coaching journey. So it was 4 years ago. I was already on a management position in HR, and I joined a project where I was supposed to learn coaching and to apply it in a program. So I was going through my coaching education, and I was desperately looking for real clients, how we say it. So someone who doesn't know about coaching, but you need to take him or her and coach. So one of my best friends eventually agreed. I guess she was the only one who trusted me as a coach back then. And we had this first real coaching session. I can share that it was a complete disaster. So I was so focused on the technique, on the process, on the tools, that I completely lost control of what's happening. I could hardly hear what she was talking about. And actually, she was happy because she had 2 hours being listened and complaining to someone being uninterrupted. So as devastating and difficult that experience was, even then I knew that it was worthwhile. However, it will require a certain investment from my side. Investment of my passion, patience, and focus. Passion, patience, and focus are actually the things that we, SAP internal coaches, believe in. Passion, to address the passion in each of us. Patience, so that everyone can find their own pace to follow it. And focus. Focus on the results that we want to achieve as individuals, as professionals, and as a company. I will be telling you about the new realities that we are observing on the learning market and how it impacts SAP learning culture. Then I will focus a little bit about the coaching practice, the global SAP coaching practice, and then I can share a few learnings that we have from the local implementation of this. A few words about SAP. SAP is a market leader in enterprise application software and technology. We are helping businesses, companies of all sizes and all industries run their business better. And the practice I will share about, the coaching practice, was targeting all 70,000 employees of various nationalities worldwide. So what are the new realities that we can see? You've heard, most probably, about knowledge workers. So this is something that we are talking about a lot. So knowledge worker is practically everyone in this room, I think everyone in this room. These are people who are working with knowledge and information. However, the time is changing. And it is changing, and it is challenging this knowledge worker concept because of 2 things. First, knowledge is not fixed any longer. So actually, 50% of what we have as a knowledge, as a person at the moment, will not be relevant in 5 years. And the second one is the accessibility of knowledge. So now, everyone who has a smartphone actually knows the same thing that you know. And so currently, we are shifting towards more learning workers. Of course, learning workers will be knowledge workers, however upgraded, because they will need to have the university degree, the vast education. However, what will set them apart is their ability to learn, is how they gain the skills and competencies, how they adopt them, how they apply them in completely new situations. The second reality is the knowledge we have about how we learn. With the development of neuroscience and cognitive psychology, we know more and more about our brains and how they function and how they memorize things and how they apply them. So we know that the learning is actually happening the majority of learning is actually happening outside of the training room. We know that learning is a continuum, and a lot of the things actually are coming from our peers, they're coming from us asking questions, they're coming from us trying new things, failing, perhaps sometimes succeeding. So knowing those two paradigms of learning, we in SAP set 3 tasks in front of us regarding learning. The first one is we want to redefine our learning culture. So we want people to have the mindset, the behavior, and the expectations how to learn. We want to focus on how. The second task is the content. So we need to provide the content to our people that is relevant for their business, for their job, and can be easily applicable. So this is the second focus, which is on what. And the third one is, of course, that we need to measure all that. We need to know what is the impact, does it make sense or not. And all of this we are doing with our wonderful software, and I strongly encourage you afterwards to go to test it. We have colleagues outside at the SAP stand who can show you real time how it works. Back to our coaching journey. We have a belief that everyone has a knowledge or skill to share, and everyone has a knowledge or skill to gain. So we think that all our employees are talented in some specific areas, and we all believe that everyone can act as a teacher at some point and can act as a learner at another point. And these are the 3 principles that are staying fundamentally in the coaching community as well as in other areas. So how the coaching community in SAP started? It all started in 2003, year 2003, when by a grassroots initiative, actually 8 managers in Germany, they wanted to become better managers. So they went to a coaching education, and then you as managers know that you start practicing it typically in your safest environment, that's your team. However, they promptly understood that their role as a manager and the coach can be in conflict sometimes. So they started coaching each other colleagues, each other team members. Gradually, the interest grew. There were other team members who said, okay, I want to try this one. It started becoming as a program. It started having some structure, quality and ethical rules and guidelines were introduced. And in 2010, actually, it became an official part of the HR portfolio that was accessible for everyone. Currently, in 2016, we have 400 internal coaches, which some of them which you can use everywhere in the world. And what is most important is that everyone can apply to become an SAP internal coach. A little bit about the process. They are divided in 3 groups, and those 3 groups are set on the basis of some criteria for education, for experience, for practice. 2 important things here are that everyone who is committing to become an internal coach should commit for 5% of their time to act as internal coach. And we want this commitment both from the colleagues and their managers. The second important thing here is that we want the service that we provide as internal coaching to be the same quality, if not higher, as the external coaching services. You need to understand that it's a really lively community, and we are putting a lot of things to maintain it lively community and to contribute to this. There is a lot of communication going. Of course, we are using all virtual tools that we have, personal meetings and sharings. We also have a lot of initiatives which are focused on further development of coaches, so that they have mentoring, they have supervision. We are inviting thought leaders in coaching environment to share to share their vision. And of course, the internal coaching community is also participating in global programs that we have, global learning programs, where coaching is part of the offering. And now the 3 lessons learned as we were implementing, this important slide. So these are some results that we had for 2015. So the return on, and this is actually 2015 was one of the largest in expansions of our coaching community, when we really invited a lot of colleagues to come so that the company can sponsor their education and afterwards to act as coaches. So the return on investment is 239% as compared to costs that were invested in external coaching and afterwards used by internal coaching. However, costs are not the only thing that is important. We really focus on measuring the impact and the feedback that people were giving. So 88% of our employees said that they have improved their relationships with the colleagues, 85% that they had increased their motivation, job satisfaction, and more than 90% would recommend coaching as a service to their colleagues. And the 3 lessons learned that as we were implementing the coaching in the region, actually in Bulgaria primarily, because this is where we have a big labs and we had this arena, what is important if you decide to do it? So although we were doing some attempts, to provide coaching as a service, to advertise it, actually it really gained momentum at a moment of business transformation. Now, the teams were going through a new way of developing our software. The leaders were supposed to adopt new behaviors, and you know that a behavior cannot be genuine if there is not a true belief behind it. So then we used our internal coaches exactly as a part of the offering, where together with the training, with the workshops, with the shadowing that managers get, they also had an internal coach to work about those new beliefs and behaviors. The second lesson is about positioning. So we explicitly positioned coaching as an exclusive service for high-performing employees. We said that coaching is not fixing performance issues. If you have performance issues, as a manager, deal with this. Coaching is for employees who want to develop their potential and who are motivated and who are performing. And the third one is that managers and leaders, as all of the presenters said, need to be real advocate for this. So all of our leaders in Bulgaria passed through a short version of coaching education so that they can understand it and they can apply it as an approach during their leadership communication. And actually some of them got so inspired that afterwards enrolled in the program of coaching and became internal coaches. And in conclusion, I just wanted to share something that we're really proud of. Last year, during Prism Awards of International Coach Federation, we were honorable mention for, SAP was honorable mention for the contribution to promoting coaching culture. Thank you very much for your attention. And don't forget to visit our stand and to try our beautiful software. Thank you.